Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of It's About Time. So today, we're going to talk about a topic I believe is interesting. There's a lot of debate, there's some controversy in the watch world, especially with what I read on watch forums. Is there a definite answer? No, just a little disclaimer before we begin it. But him and I are going to debate this a little bit tonight. It's just not even a question, I know, and that's okay. But I think the points that I'm going to make you guys are going to be make a little bit more sense. But anyways,
before we get there, let's go to what's on the wrist.
Okay, what's on the wrist? So I guess I will show it for those of you who are maybe new viewers, just tuning in, whatever. Although I don't think anyone is. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm going to go from back here, and I'm just going to go in very slowly. So this is the Gucci G Timeless Classic watch. Last episode, we did the fashion brands. This ranked very high on my list in terms of affordability. So as you guys can tell, I just am loving this watch. It's just, oh my god, I don't even think twice about this watch or anything. Hopefully you guys can see it very well. Anyways, it's the rose gold version. You guys could go look it up online. They don't produce this watch anymore. I guess I'll give you guys like a little bit of an update. Oh, you know what? I feel like we should combine two things into one episode tonight. You know what? We're going to combine two things into one episode tonight. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer episode. I just thought about it. So I'm using a handy-dandy app. We'll talk about it in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. This watch right now given it's a quartz, this watch is off by I think about 2 seconds. I set it on January 26th-ish, give or take. It's now February 12th. Again, guys, it's a quartz. It is going to keep impeccable timing. A few seconds a month, so I'm not surprised, but oh my god, absolutely. By the way, guys, don't forget, check out our previous episodes about sizing. I featured this watch, and also cleaning a watch. I featured this watch. So this watch is just absolutely unreal. I love it. That's what's on my wrist. It's been on my wrist and will continue to be on my wrist.
And what's on my wrist tonight is, I haven't brought this one out in a while. Actually one of Jared's favorites of mine.
I think it's a beautiful piece.
He loves this piece. I do too.
Beautiful piece.
Him and I rave about this one. The Ulysse Nardin San Marco.
Ulysse Nardin. Or Nardin. Doesn't matter, I guess.
It's the big date. It's the big date with the sub-dial. This is about a 36 to 37 millimeter piece.
Is it? Yeah, yep. It's actually small. Yeah, it's a little smaller than mine.
And it's a great piece. It does not have an exhibition case back, but it does allow you.
How many days have you been wearing this now for?
This one I've been wearing for about 5.
5 days. Wow.
For 6 maybe. So it's not that far off. Probably second or two fast a day, and that's why I have it regulated.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you're running right now about 4 seconds fastish.
After 5 days, that's not bad at all.
No, that's phenomenal.
That's a second a day. I'll take it, which means I've done a good job regulating it. So yeah, this was always Jared.
Yeah.
We liked this one from day one. Him and I both.
It's a beautiful piece.
Beautiful piece. It does have the blue hands on the hour markers. Okay, let's go with the report card of it. 8 out of 10 here. Okay,
8 out of 10.
Sure. On our
8 out of 10. Let's hear this.
Okay.
I'm a little surprised.
Well, there's 2 things it doesn't have, but it is water resistant up to 5 ATM. Functionality does have the big date up on top and the little sub dial down at the bottom.
I'm just gonna hold this up a little bit so I can just see from the back.
Okay, is it comfortable? Oh, it's extremely comfortable. They do make a beautiful band for this watch, the San Marco. It does have lume on the hour dials going across, and it does have lume on the minute and the hour hand as well, with the Breguet hands. Is it scratch resistant? No, it's metal. It's going to fail there, obviously. Being steel, it's going to fail. Is it easy to regulate? Actually, it is. It's a pain in the butt to regulate if you lose the screws, which I've done and I refound them, thank God. But there's only 4 screws, which means it's funny, when you want to regulate watches, sometimes you can't get the back off. I'll teach you a little secret. Go get one of those Velcro, those little sticky Velcro pads that you can buy at Michaels or anything else
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Put it on the back of your watch and
absolutely.
come up, and all of a sudden the back
or
just
even some
pops
putty
off.
or something like that. Absolutely.
A lot of watchmakers will say, "Oh, stick a knife in there," and no, I don't like to damage.
Because then things fly everywhere.
Not only that, but I don't like to damage the metal.
Don't
I
worry
don't
about
like
it.
to
I'm
make
coming back. I
scratches.
just want to do this for about. I'm just curious to see the lumen on it myself.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so basically, what you got there is it's pretty easy to regulate. Is it a work piece? Yeah, you could wear it. I wouldn't wear it to construction, but for most everyday work events, you could wear it to. Is it a dress piece? Hell yeah. It is meant on that.
Really nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like that 1930s, 1940s throwback look. Is it a sports piece? Hell no. Again, automatics, you're not going to get a great sports.
okay, so guys, when it comes to
use
loom,
for it.
I just want to give you a little update. Julie knows this already. So the loom, where the hour markers are, it has little indices for that. Those light up. The hands themselves,
Nope.
they don't.
No.
So,
but they do have the loom. You see, they do have the loom.
yeah, but you know though,
sticks.
that's the only thing that's maybe a little disappointing. It's kind of like with my Gucci, like very minimal loom.
But then again, it's
But-
probably about 10 years old.
Yeah,
so
and
you're gonna lose
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the bad thing about loom.
Yeah.
It does fade
There you
over
go,
time.
Simon.
Thank you very much. And it is an everyday piece. So, again, one of my top 5 pieces that I own. Do love wearing it. Love the look of it. And I love the feel of it. So, it is a great piece. But speaking of automatic and quartz watches, tonight brings
Yeah,
us to our
absolutely.
topic.
All right, so there's a lot of debate on this. What is the best way to start? I'm gonna use a neutral term. Start your automatic watch. This doesn't count for quartzes. But what's the best way to start your automatic?
That's a great debate.
Minus your manual winds, because there's only one way to do
That's
that.
true.
So we're just gonna talk about automatics. Okay. So, guys, here is my thought on it, right? When you first start an automatic, here's what I like to do. I like to wind the crown until, now this is from we're talking from completely dead, correct?
Correct.
Completely dead.
What is
like
the safest way. What do you think?
Well, again, there's a debate on this, but
and that's what we're gonna bring up.
So what I like to do, or what I like to do at least in the past, wind the crown until the seconds hand got moving. The reason why, and now give it, an automatic. I just want to put one thing to rest. For the most part, there are some watches that don't have this, but I don't even know. I can't get into it because I'm not an expert. But for the most part, you can't overwind. For the most part, not with all, because there are some watches that don't have the slip clutch in them. Most automatic watches, you cannot overwind. It's almost impossible to do it. You're not going to affect the accuracy. You're not going to affect the internal components of it. There's a clutch that's built in that once it's done winding, it'll just keep rotating, but it's not going to keep winding the mainspring. Like the mainspring is not going to snap. It's just not going to happen. So let's just put that part out there.
That bit.
Yeah, exactly, guys. There are some watches out there that don't have it. Like manual ones, you could ask. But again, I'm not going to even go there because we're not talking about manual ones. Strictly automatics, watches with rotors in the back, self-winding movements, unidirectional or bidirectional, it doesn't matter. So what I like to do is I like to get a watch started. I want to wind the stem or the crown. It's this part on a watch. It's like turning a key. So I like to do that. Okay, to start off, and then you get the seconds hand moving. Usually in that case, that usually means, minus if you don't have a power reserve indicator, that you have at least the minimum amount of power going that could last even, I would say, a solid hour to 2 hours, even if you just wound it like that and didn't even wear it. It's probably even more than that, but just at a minimum. So that's kind of like, you're starting it up, you're just getting the engine, again, the engine ain't warm yet. It's going to take a little while to get the power reserve up, to really get it fully going, get the balanced spring and everything really ticking and going. It's going to take a few minutes, okay? The oven takes a minute to get warm. But, again, crowns, they are meant to be wound. You know what I mean? They're not meant to be. I mean, listen, you do set the time on them too, but the reason why automatics are the way that they are is because when the power gets depleted, the crown is there. It's like a key with an engine. Your job is to start the key, get it going, and that's almost halfway of a sure-proof way of doing it.
I know the watchmakers that we go to, especially Sergio and Matt, they recommend anywhere turning your crown 20 to 26 times.
Well, okay, theoretically, you should do it about 30 to 40 times to really get fully wound.
I have a different belief.
I'm a proponent of winding the crown.
He is, and most watchmakers are.
And then what you do, by the way, actually, I just want to finish this. Once you wind the crown, the second hand gets moving, set the time, set the date, set everything, and then just start wearing it, and you're good. If you wear a watch, I think it's for even over like 5 or 6 hours, definitely over 8 hours, depending on your movement. But if you're really moving a halfway decent amount, at least 5 to 6, if not 8 hours, it is. I don't even think it takes that long. I think it takes maybe 3-4 hours. But if you are definitely wearing a watch over one day, it will be fully wound. I promise you that. Yeah. Unless there's something wrong with it.
It's true. I have a little different belief in it. I'm more the old school thought process in the other way. Whereas if a watch is, if you haven't worn it for quite some time, the first thing I was ever told with an automatic watch a long time ago is you can either wind it or you can shake it. And I don't mean violently shake it. I mean go in a clockwise or counterclockwise way. Because what you're doing basically is you're winding the rotor with your hand movement. That's the great thing about automatics. Your hand does the movement. And I am of the belief that the watch gets to know you. The more you wear the watch, the more regulated the watch is to how you wear it. And I never believed in turning the crown because I always believed, and I always had bad luck with this. Whenever I turned the crown, it always ran too fast for me. I don't know what it was, but every watch I had ran too fast. And I don't want somebody else putting up the engine automatically in high gear. I want to bring it to what I do. So what I basically do is I basically do a little hand motion with it counterclockwise.
You look like you're having fun.
I do, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
For at least about 20-25 seconds. And then what I'll do is I will stop the watch, I will set the time, and then I will wear it normally. And as you normally wear it, it's going to get wound up anyway. And so I'm getting there a different way. Guys, we're both getting to the same spot. Okay? You're just doing it. I'm taking more of the off the path, beaten road. Jared's taking more like the highway. If you're going to take the crown, you're going to bring it right up to full speed pretty quickly. Me, I'm taking more of the back roads.
Now, I also do want to put another myth to rest.
Which is?
If you do fully start your watch just with the crown, it will not affect the accuracy. It will not.
Unfortunately, I have not been able to put that one to rest because I've had about 3 watches and...
But can I tell you why?
Well...
I want to tell you exactly why. The regulator part of the watch, okay, that doesn't get affected when you wind the crown. I mean, if it did, then people's watches would be going insane all the time. A watch is because now this is something you always talk about in your reviews each week. Easy to regulate.
Yes.
There's always, near the balance spring, there's that little screw.
Correct.
Or a lever.
Yep.
Screw or lever where you put it in. Neutral, positive, negative territory. When you wind a crown, you're not turning that screw. You're not pushing that lever.
No, it shouldn't. I just personally have not had... And again, things can happen. It sometimes depends on the temperature. Sometimes it depends on a lot of different factors.
Guys, listen.
I've never had
automatics are going to be far less accurate than a quartz any day of the week. I don't care.
Very
Even if you got the Zenith, El Primero, Defy Lab, the new one that just came out, a quartz will still be far more accurate than that will be. Okay?
It's true.
But
automatics have their advantages, and one of them is never needing a battery. Speaking of going into the quartz realm now, when you need a battery, there's a myth that we also have to debug whether it's true or it's not. You may have heard if you pull the stem out of an automatic watch, it'll save the battery.
Wait, an automatic?
I'm sorry, of a quartz watch, it'll save the battery. True or false?
It is absolutely true. Listen, the battery is still pumping some energy through the circuit. That's not even a question. but you are conserving. I don't know what the exact number is, but it's definitely over 50%. I don't know the exact number, but it's definitely over 50%. Again, the battery is still working. It's still emitting like an electric pulse throughout the circuit, and the watch is theoretically still working, but it's kind of like, for instance, right? Think about someone that drives 80 on a highway versus someone that drives 55. The statistic is that you actually conserve at least 20% more gas and everything else like that by driving at 55 miles per hour, which is the ideal speed. Just think about it like that. 80 miles an hour, you're using up more gas. At 55 miles per hour, you're conserving a lot more. So it's the same thing with a watch battery. If you're going to take the stem out on a quartz, you're going to be conserving a lot more. Now, that's if you're not wearing it. If you're wearing it, to me, there's really no point, you want to know the time. But for those of you with quartz watches, I highly recommend if you're not going to wear it for an extended period of time, absolutely conserve the battery.
I've done a lot of research on this, and it's actually a trick question. Because with quartz watches, it actually depends what the stem is touching. Some quartz watches are built in a way that the stem, when you pull it out, still touches the battery, therefore it still runs. Others don't. It depends.
It still runs no matter. Well,
not really.
Well, it doesn't.
Some
run,
do, some don't. It all depends, and that's why people are like, well, I pull my stem out and my watch is fine. Others are like, well, I pull my stem out and it still goes dead. Well, that's because all quartz watches aren't created equal.
Let me tell you something. Okay, even if you keep a stem pulled out for a while, eventually, now for some, it also depends on the kind of battery that's in it. Depends on the kind of movement.
That's why I said
depends
all
on
are not created equal.
But I can say that at the end of the day, for the most part, it will without a doubt conserve your battery.
I would say yes.
Not
I would
even
lean towards yes. But
Not
again,
even
it
question.
does depend what is in the watch and what the stem is touching.
Although, I mean, it would theoretically, if the movement keeps going after you pull the stem out or the crown out from a quartz, I think you have a problem with the watch.
It could be. I mean, there's a lot of different factors, so you can't really debug the myth.
Oh, now the other thing
is
this. Some people say, oh, it's bad to store your watch with the crown out. I'm not disagreeing there, but now here's the other thing I'm going to say to this. Is that if you keep it stored in a good place, free from moisture and things like that, free from crazy temperature changes, dust and all, keep it in a nice case, you're not going to fall in a lot of problems. But if you're in an area like high moisture climates, again, we've told you many times, if you're around water,
the desert's not a great place for it.
Keep the crown in. Absolutely. I mean, listen, you have to be sort of careful, but with an automatic, you should never store an automatic with the crown out. Quartz watches, yes, you can. It won't affect them nearly as much, and again, a lot of them also nowadays, they're sealed off pretty well, but I still don't recommend keeping it out while you take it around the water. Although there are some very high-priced watches, maybe Breitling or something like that, have like a double, triple seal. Certina does this with their DS watches. They're double sealed and things like that, where the crown is out, chances are water won't get into it because it's sealed very well and things like that. Just wanted to touch on some things. Now, the only other thing I wanted to touch on personally, so Drew told me about this app a while ago, and it's called ClockSync. So guys,
if you're ever looking to see how accurate your watch is,
let me just tell you guys this, okay?
This is fantastic.
If you ever want to know what your phone time is versus you'll always have the atomic time with this. You'll always know what your system time is, the local offset, the date. I mean, for those of you who don't wear a watch, I think that this would be freaking amazing. Although you have to go into the app to actually see it. This is called ClockSync. So anyways, download it in the App Store. By the way, how much does the app cost?
It's free.
Oh, it's completely free. Isn't that amazing? You guys don't have to use time.gov anymore or anything else like that. So, up here is the atomic clock. Down here is your phone's time. And then down here is kind of a cool thing. It says local offset. And this tells you what your system time is compared to the atomic clock. So right now, mine's off by about a second or so. And by the way, guys, every time that you close out, shut off your phone, do whatever it is, your phone's time constantly changes. You guys will see that every time you log out. So this, I'm going to do the demonstration on that. Then down here it shows you the date, date, month, year. I mean, like literally everything. Only people would wish that their watches would tell them this stuff all the time. So this one's is off by 0.977 now. I'm going to exit out of the app. I'm going to then go back into it. And now it shows 0.983. So it got worse, theoretically. I'm going to go out one more time, just go back into everything that I did, go back in one more time, and it's 0.982. I've had times where this has been as plus 1 second or even, but most of the times it, without a doubt, runs very slow. But anyways, amazingly cool app.
Yeah, it really is.
Drew, how did you find it?
I just actually looked up clock time downloads, and that was one of the first ones that popped up.
This
on
is
Google.
so cool.
It really is.
Like,
cool.
we're
One of my
almost
favorites.
obsessed with it.
It really is.
Yeah.
Guys, next episode, I'm going to actually take you on a little special adventure for you Bachelor and Bachelorette fans. I'm going to go on a 2-on-1 with my watches. I do have an Omega coming in, as I've told Jared. And only one can stay with me. So we're going to go on a 2-on-1 date. And I'm going to give the rose out to the watch that is going to stay in my collection. I just figured this out 10 minutes ago. So basically,
I'm going to make a
I
bet.
have an Omega Constellation, and I have an Omega Constellation Double Eagle coming in. They are different watches, they are different sizes, they are different colors. We're going to go on a 2-on-1 date, and we're going to see who gets the rose and who is going home, which means getting sold.
And why is it that you decided to get the other watch in? What are you comparing?
Well, I noticed that my first Constellation that I have, which is a 36mm coaxial, which I've had on the show a couple times, is a little snug on my wrist. And I don't...
Snug, what do you mean?
A little tight fit.
Oh, so it's not necessarily the size, it's the bracelet.
It's the bracelet. If I
Really?
if I add another link in, it's too loose. It's a little too snug.
Oh, so it has nothing to do with the diameter size of it.
Not more the diameter based on the bracelet size. Now, I'm bringing in a 38mm to see if that changes the game, and I'm bringing in a Double Eagle coaxial, which is a different type of an Omega, to see if I like that.
You're going to have to tell us the difference between a coaxial and a double Eagle coaxial.
Well, I'll do that next episode.
Please do.
I'm going to go into the differences. I got 2 sexy watches coming in, and I can only go home with one.
I'm going to make a bet right now. I'll make a bet. I'm going to say the new one coming in is going to win.
Are you predicting our outcomes already?
Yeah.
Amazing. You're going to have to watch the episode of The Watch Bachelorette to find out exactly what's going to take place in this episode. It's really going to be fun. Yes, I'm going to.
I hope you're actually going to give a rose to the watch.
Yes, I am. I'm going to actually give a rose to the watch. If I have to buy one, I will give a rose to the watch. So you're going to see who's going on and who's going home. So also, what we do have coming up in the next couple of months, I will be in AC as promised, as I am every year. This year, it will be with our good friend Nishan. So he will be joining us in AC as we get prepared to do our watch episode down there from the Borgata. And hopefully we can get him in a robe. I'd love to see that sexy beast.
I still think I'm better looking on the road.
I don't know. We're going to have people. We're going to find out. So that will
That's
be
my opinion.
that maybe that will be like.
But you know, let's see which episode
hometown
gets more
episode.
views.
What's
Let's
that?
see which episode gets more views.
That's true. We'll have to put that to the test. You got a nice head start over at 2,500
That is true.
already.
That is true.
But yes, that was a fun episode. We're going to see what Nishan can bring to the show this year.
Absolutely.
And we got plenty of more episodes for you as well. As I just booked another trip to LBI, so we will be doing that over the 4th of July as well. But anyway, guys, please drop us your emails, your thoughts, your comments on what you thought. I know I heard from somebody this week, Chris, who said he really liked our episode on how to clean a watch.
Oh, good.
He really learned a lot from that, and because of that, he said he was going to be subscribing to the channel, as he really found that quite
Hey,
interesting.
Chris,
And he's
listen,
not
thank
even into
you.
watches.
Refer your friends, everyone else like that, and also don't forget, suggest some future episodes that you want to see. I mean, listen, going forward, the landscape of the channel is going to be a little different. But suggest some episodes. Drew will pick up an episode. I'll pick up an episode. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
So just
that's it.
suggest the episodes, like, subscribe, do everything. Yeah.
Until we see you again, we'll see you on another episode of
It's a bad time.